First Kings chapter 17. The story of Elijah. Elijah proclaimed a drought. Elijah the Tishbite from Tishbe in Gilead said to Ahab, "As the Father, the God of Israel, Most High I Am, lives, whom I served during these years, that it shall be no dew or rain except at my word." The word of the Father came to Elijah, "Leave here, go east and hide in the Wadi, Cherith, east of the Jordan. You shall drink of the Wadi, and I will have commanded ravens to feed you there." So he left and did as the Father had commanded. He left and remained by the Wadi, Cherith, east of the Jordan. Ravens brought him bread and meat in the morning, and bread and meat in the evening, and he drank from the Wadi. After some time, however, the Wadi ran dry, because no rain had fallen in the land. So the word of the Father came to him, "Arise, go to Zarephath of Sidon, and stay there. I have commanded a widow there to feed you." He arose and went to Zarephath. When he arrived at the entrance of the city, a widow was there gathering sticks. He called out to her, "Please bring me a small cup full of water." She left to get it. And he called out after her, "Please bring along a crust of bread." She said, "As the Father, your God lives, Most High lives, I have nothing baked. There is only a handful of flour in my jar and a little oil in my jug. Just now I was collecting a few sticks to go in and prepare something for myself and my son. When we have eaten it, we shall die." Elijah said to her, "Do not be afraid. Go and do as you have said. But first make me a little cake and bring it to me. Afterwards you can prepare something for yourself and your son. For the Father, the God of Israel, Most High I Am, says, the jar of flour shall not go empty, nor the jug of oil run dry, until the day when the Father sends rain upon the earth." She left and did as Elijah had said. She had enough to eat for a long time, and she and her household. The jar of flour did not go empty, nor the jug of oil run dry, according to the word of the Father had spoken through Elijah. Sometime later, the son of the woman, the owner of the house, fell sick, and his sickness grew more severe until he stopped breathing. So she said to Elijah, "Why have you done this to me, man of God, the Father? Have you come to me to call attention to my guilt and to kill my son?" Elijah said to her, "Give me your son." Taking him from her lap, he carried him to the upper room where he was staying and laid him on his own bed. He called out to the Father, "Father, Most High I Am, my God, will you afflict even the widow with whom I am staying by killing her son?" Then he stretched himself out upon the child 3 times, and he called out to the Father, "Lord, my God, Father, Most High I Am, Hua, let the life breath return to the body of this child." The Father heard the prayer of Elijah, and the life breath returned to the child's body, and he lived. Taking the child, Elijah carried down into the house from the upper room and gave him to his mother. Elijah said, "See, your son is alive." The woman said to Elijah, "Now indeed I know that you are a man of God the Father, and it is truly the word of the Father that you speak." 18. Elijah ends the drought. Long afterward, in the 3rd year, the word of the Father came to Elijah, "Go present yourself to Ahab, that I may send rain upon the earth." So Elijah went to present himself to Ahab. Now the famine in Samaria was severe, and Ahab had summoned Obadiah, master of his palace, who greatly revered the Father. When Jezebel was slaughtering the prophets of the Father, Obadiah took 100 prophets, hid them away by 50s in caves, and supplied them with food and water. Ahab said to Obadiah, "Go through the land to all sources of water and to all the wadis. We may find grass and keep the horses and mules alive, so that we shall not have to slaughter any of the beasts." Dividing the land to explore between them, Ahab went one way by himself, Obadiah another way by himself. As Obadiah was on his way, Elijah met him. Recognizing him, Obadiah fell prostrate and asked, "Is it you, my lord, Elijah?" He said to him, "Yes, go tell your lord, Elijah is here." But Obadiah said, "What sin has your servant committed, that you are handing me over to Ahab to be killed? As the Father, your God lives, there is no nation or kingdom where my Lord has not sent in search of you." When they replied, "He is not here," he made each kingdom and nation swear they could not find you. And now you say, "Go tell your Lord, Elijah is here." After I leave you, the Spirit of the Father will carry you to some place I do not know, and when I go to inform Ahab, and he does not find you, he will kill me, though your servant has revered the Father from his youth. Have you not been told, my Lord, what I did when Jezebel was murdering the prophets of the Father, Most High, that I hid 100 of the prophets of the Father, 50 each in caves, and supplied them with food and water? And now you say, 'Go tell your Lord, Elijah is here. He will kill me.'" Elijah answered, As the Father, the Lord of hosts, lives, whom I serve, I will present myself to him today. So Obadiah went to meet Ahab and informed him. And Ahab came to meet Elijah. When Ahab saw Elijah, he said to him, "Is it you, you disturber of Israel?" He answered, "It is not I who disturb Israel, but you and your father's house, by forsaking the commands of the Most High I Am, Father, and by you following the Baals. Now summon all Israel to me on Mount Carmel, as well as the 450 prophets of Baal and the 400 prophets of Asherah who eat at Jezebel's table." So Ahab summoned all the Israelites, and he had the prophets gather on Mount Carmel. Elijah approached all the people and said, "How long will you straddle the tissue? If the Father is God, Most High I Am, follow him. If Baal, follow him." But the people did not answer him. So Elijah said to the people, "I am the only remaining prophet of the Father, and there are 450 prophets of Baal. Give us 2 young bulls. Let us choose one, cut it into pieces, and place it on the wood. But start no fire. I shall prepare the other and place it on the wood, but shall start no fire. You shall call upon the name of your gods, and I will call upon the name of my Lord, my Father, my God. The God who answers with fire is God the Father, the one and only truly creator of all creatures." All the people answered, "We agree." Elijah then said to the prophets of Baal, "Choose one young bull, and prepare it first, for there are more of you. Call upon your gods, but do not start the fire." Taking the young bull that was turned over to them, they prepared it and called upon Baal from morning to noon, saying, "Baal, answer us." But there was no sound, and no one answering. And they hopped around the altar they had prepared. When it was noon, Elijah taunted him, "Call louder, for he is a god. He may be busy doing his business, or may be on a journey. Perhaps he is asleep and must be awakened." They called out louder and slashed themselves with swords and spears according to their ritual until blood gushed over them. Noon passed, and they remained in a prophetic state until the time for offering sacrifice. But there was no sound. No one answering, no one listening. Then Elijah said to all the people, "Come here to me." When they drew near to him, he repaired the altar of the Father, which had been destroyed. He took 12 stones, for the number of the tribe of the sons of Jacob, to whom the Father had said, "Israel shall be your name." He built the stones into an altar to the name of the Father, and made a trench around the altar large enough for 2 measures of grain. When he had arranged the wood, he cut up a young bull and laid it on the wood. He said, "Fill flour jars with water and pour it over the burnt offering and over the wood." "Do it again," he said, and they did it again. "Do it a 3rd time," he said, and they did it a 3rd time. The water flowed around the altar, even the trench was filled with the water. At that time, for offering sacrifice, Elijah the prophet came forward and said, "Lord God of Abraham, Most High I Am, of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known this day that you are God the Father, one and only truly the creator of all creatures in Israel, and that I am your servant, and have done all these things at your command. Answer me, Father, answer me, that this people may know that you, Lord, are God, the Father, Most High I Am, who are, and that you have turned their hearts back to you." The Father's fire came down and devoured the burnt offering, wood, stones, and dust, and lapped up the water in the trench. Seeing this, all the people fell prostrate and said, "The Father is God, Most High I Am. The Lord is great. He is God, Father, one and only." Then Elijah said to them, "Seize the prophets of Baal. Let none of them escape." They seized them, and Elijah brought them down to the way to Kishon, and there he slaughtered them. Elijah then said to Ahab, "Go up, eat and drink, for there is the sound of a heavy rain." So Ahab went up to eat and drink, while Elijah went up to the top of Carmel, crouched down to the earth, and put his head between his knees. He said to his servant, "Go up and look out to sea." He went up and looked, but reported, "There is nothing." 7 times he said, "Go look again." And the 7th time the youth reported, "There is a cloud as small as a man's hand rising from the sea." Elijah said, "Go and say to Ahab, harness up and go down the mountain before the rain stops you." All at once the sky grew dark with clouds and wind, and a heavy rain fell. Ahab mounted his chariot and headed for Jezreel. But the hand of the Father was on Elijah. He girded up his clothing and ran before Ahab as far as the approaches of Jezreel. 19. Flight to Horeb. Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done. I'll wait on that right there because it's almost time for 10. Thank you so much, Father. Thank you so much, Father. I want to stop it at 10 minutes, every 10 minutes. Thank you so much, Father, for everything you do for me. All praise and glory belongs to you. All right. Thank you so much.